Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Ideal Ego Pokemon. Rekka here, and welcome to the second video, Battles for Ultra League Premier Cup, Season 7. So as I've mentioned before in the previous video, my Empoleon would still be in the lead, but will be fighting alongside my Venusaur and my Charizard. Although without the Community Day move, but I will obviously use the Charizard that I've got with the Blast Burn move from way back in April 2018. Once I get to power up, of course, and get to another Premier Cup battle set showcase. So now, when my opponent sends out the Venusaur, my Charizard will not use a shield on Sludge Bomb, but at least I will have some bit of farm for my Empoleon. Okay, this is an even situation, but now out comes my opponent's Swampert. So proceeding with this Hydro Cannon, it will deal just the right damage. But now my switch timer came off, sending out Venusaur, but my opponent also has a Charizard. So it all goes down to if I could bait this shield. Bait the shield. I didn't, sadly. And the Dragon Breath, well, yeah, it still does neutral damage, but it's not that bad because it's not Air Slash or Fire Spin. But nonetheless, I was able to only get one shield, and obviously let this attack go through because it's a Dragon Claw bait. So I did call that out correctly, but still, Divine Whip is kind of not enough to take out my the faux Charizard there. So will Empoleon be enough for my opponent's Swampert? Okay, the Swampert is going to launch a charge move. It's now down to my shields to win this match. It was a Surf bait, but I'm getting onto the Hydro Cannon to hopefully get something out of this match. Now, because at that time I didn't have Drill Peck yet, but it's guaranteed now that the next battles video will have the Drill Peck secondary move for my Empoleon, as well as for the Infernape. Of course, I shielded that Earthquake because it's very dangerous, and the battle is finally coming to a close. Okay, that was a Surf. My Empoleon survived it, and I got to a Hydro Cannon and still taking out Swampert with Waterfall. So that's a good game to my opponent right there. So this will be my last set for Premier Cup, but I would still promise, when it comes back, more better choices or unusual choices, because I don't have much of the at least in the tier 4 or part of the meta, because I don't even have XL candies yet, but of course I'll get to that. Okay, out comes my Empoleon. So of course in the next Premier Cup video I won't always have to focus on Empoleon. That's why I'm planning to walk my Poliwrath so that it'll have enough candies to be powered up for Ultra League. I don't have the right amount of candies right now because I just spent 100 candies on my Politoed for Great League. So when the time comes, I will be able to use a Poliwrath in Premier Cup to not always focus on Empoleon, because if it gets too relevant in the meta, then a lot of other players might just send out their fighting and ground types as a response to a lot of Empoleon in the Premier Cup. That's why in this team, I tried to stick with my previous video team, the one with Double Fighter, because I want to see if he can get one more win, because I did lose another just one match in the previous video that I included, because I didn't have the secondary charge moves yet. But now I'm in a good situation because my opponent decided to shield at 1/4 damage cross chop. Well, 39% damage. And I was able to get my opponent's shield twice there with a fighting move on Fairy Flying Togekiss dual type. And I don't know, that's a good, that's what my opponent decided to do, and therefore shielding cross chop will lead to my Hydro Cannon getting through that Togekiss. And so now I'm going to tank this Ancient Power, and I will have to see if I can fire spin enough for a close combat. Yes, because someone as strong as Infernape can punch through even the wings of Charizard. Oh yes, I was able to take that Charizard out. Out comes my foe's Togekiss. Okay, I got Charmed down, but will Empoleon be enough to save the day? Yes, he is able to, thanks to that Steel typing. It's very beautiful for that Emperor Penguin right there. So I take a win, and that's a good game to my opponent. On to the next battle. So okay, going back to my all-starter Pokemon team where all of them have a resistance to Fairy. So all of the types they have it that resist Fairy types, but so yeah. This is just I just selected the starter Pokemon that usually comes up, so I just used all of them in this team so that I can put it in a video. But obviously I will have better choices in future Premier Cup battles once I'm able to walk the Pokemon that I want to use. So now out comes Sludge Bomb from my Venusaur, and this will be shielded because my opponent wants to have that advantage of the fire type resisting the Frenzy Plant here. So I just picked it anyway. I put the Blaziken in the red, but it was in this battle that I made a very crucial mistake. Crucial misplay at the very at that moment when I saw the Greninja. I should have just stayed with my Charizard, and obviously would have gotten a bit of more farm for Dragon Claw later, but yes, I just carelessly swapped back into my Empoleon, knowing that, or rather forgetting that my opponent has a Sceptile that can take me out. But in this particular case, if I had the secondary move Drill Peck, I would have defeated the Sceptile with this current charge move, and would still be able to battle Greninja, because the Greninja will be forced to use a charge move because my Empoleon is not in farming range and Charizard has a Dragon Claw ready, and I would have won this match if I had the move Drill Peck. Although I was also thinking that I would have let that first Leaf Blade come true and then let Charizard take on both Sceptile and Greninja, but I really can't tell if my Charizard would be able to do it. That's why the best response for me after this battle was getting that Drill Peck on my Empoleon, which I've already did. So now finally, my Empoleon will be ready for rank 20 Premier Cup battles once it does come back later in this season. So now going on to this fourth battle, I'm hoping to get a good lead. Yes, it's an Alolan Muck, but not actually, because it won't be landing any poison type moves on my Empoleon, rather dark type moves. So we're just gonna chunk each other's health here until we see some switches. And I've farmed into this Hydro Cannon, which I think my opponent should shield because it does more damage than Dark Pulse, than his Dark Pulse rather. Okay, I think this is the match where I almost won with very low health to my Charizard, because now my opponent has sent out his Rosary and went to instantly choosing Talonflame, but I have my Charizard, shiny at that. Both Community Day Pokemon battling each other here, and both in a dual has a dual fire and flying type, but my Charizard is using Air Slash, which I'm kind of chunking more from Talonflame's health, and the Dragon Claw is also neutral, while that Flame Charge will be resisted. I shielded it anyway because I want to make sure that my Charizard wins against this Talonflame. That could be level 40 plus. Well, I couldn't reach that level for my Pokemon yet because I'm not at level 40. But I will arrive to that soon. Okay, the Talonflame was able to Flame Charge my Charizard. Too bad. But rather, this was a very close match for my Venusaur. As in, because like, yes, my Venusaur took a Weather Ball, but still able to KO this Roserade with one Sludge Bomb and one Frenzy Plant. Because thankfully, Razor Leaf is very much resistant. That was an advantage for me in my end, the Razor Leaf fast move, instead of the Bullet Seed, which yes, a 2-day community day exclusive move for Roserade. It's both Bullet Seed and Weather Ball. So anyways, still a good game. I was able to get out of that situation, and now hopping into this last battle. I'm thinking this is a more interesting lineup because, well, I'm already countered at the very start, because the Venusaur will obviously Frenzy Plant my Empoleon later, and my Charizard will face a very strong opponent. And yes, it's a Gyarados. I'm in a very bad situation because all my attacks are just trivial to that Gyarados combat power. But will my Venusaur be able to handle such a monster here in this Ultra League? Okay, thanks to the shield, I make the Outrage that would KO me into 0 damage. Okay, I swiped a nice on my Frenzy Plant, and if my opponent is also running Charizard, that means Charizard is really relevant in this meta. So now it's up to my Empoleon to Hydro Cannon this Charizard. Oh, too bad. My opponent used a shield. And now, am I gonna call this? Oh, I called it wrong. I shielded the Dragon Claw. Too bad for me. And his Venusaur is still alive. laugh at this Hydro Cannon because it's not drill back. Anyways, my record is still holding on for quite the number of wins, or even rating right now, because I'm already ranked 20 as I'm recording this. So I swapped my Venusaur to catch a Dragon Claw. Okay, I did call that. But I think my Empoleon is only alive because it took a Sludge Bomb instead of a Frenzy Plant. So instead of me drill pecking my opponent, at least at least my opponent responded with not a Community Day move to my Empoleon. That's why I win that match. So that's a good set and amazing fights. So if you do like this video, then be sure to give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe if you want to see more battles and discussion video. Thank you guys, and we'll see you again soon.